A public benefit corporation in the United States, at least, is a recent creation. The first statute was, I think, in Maryland in 2010. Delaware approved public benefit corporations in 2013. And what it does, it's basically a change in the charter of a C Corp. And in the charter of the corporation, you say you have an obligation to, the board can make a decision in a public interest that you declare. So you have to state what is your public interest. In the case of the AI companies, they've said that public interest is to humanity. And when the board makes a decision, they're not obligated to maximize value for shareholders. Remember, in the United States, at least in Delaware, the jurisprudence is that if you're a board member, you have to maximize value for shareholders. You have to take them into consideration. That's something that is very important. It's a little bit of a hedge here. You say, well, now you can take into consideration the public interest, and you can take into consideration all the stakeholders of the company. Now, here's a concrete example that just happened. Anthropic, right, got into this fight with the US government. And so the government said that they use Anthropic for the Department of War. And Anthropic said, we don't want our technology to be used for autonomous weapons, and we don't want it to be used for surveillance of citizens. And the Department of War, I'm sorry, we are the Department of War. We can do whatever we want. And so they got into this spat, and essentially Anthropic didn't want to back down. And it was a $200 million contract, and they didn't. And so the Department of War told the company a supply chain risk, which is a big statement for a US company, a leading US company. And if you were a shareholder of Anthropic, you can say, hey, Dario Amodei, why are you making the social mission bigger than the economic reason? We invest in Anthropic because we want you to make money for us. And therefore, you breach your fiduciary duties. And that could actually be litigated. And there is a case. Now, because it's a PBC, the board of Anthropic has a defense and says, hey, we are not here only to maximize value to shareholders. We also going to maximize the public interest of this company, and that is to maximize humanity. And we think this is a risk to humanity. So it gives the company, it gives the board a bigger leeway to make decisions.